In a quiet yet historic turnover in early 2025, the Philippine Coast Guard welcomed one of the most unusual vessels in its growing humanitarian fleet, the BRP Amelia Gordon, PCG 5501. At first glance, she may look like an ordinary medium-sized ship, but beneath that white and red hull lies a fascinating story that spans the Arctic waters of Alaska. The humanitarian missions of the Philippine Red Cross. And now, the disaster response operations of the Philippine Coast Guard. Stay with us until the end as we break down details. Before we continue our discussion, don't forget to like button, subscribe, and the notification bell button from Pinoy Guard. Welcome back to Pinoy Guard. The vessel began her life not as a Coast Guard ship, nor as a Red Cross vessel, but as an ambitious U.S. Navy prototype. She was originally called MV Susitna, a one-of-a-kind experimental E-craft, short for expeditionary craft, developed from a Lockheed Martin concept, built by Alaska Ship and Dry Dock. Her keel was laid on August 24, 2006, and she was launched in April 2010 before being christened 2 months later. What made her unique was her SWATH-to-barge capability, an advanced engineering design that allowed her to literally transform between two hull configurations. In her SWATH, small waterplane area twin hull mode, the ship could slice through rough seas with stability unmatched by normal monohull ferries, and when needed, she could lower her center deck to become a barge, capable of carrying vehicles, heavy equipment, or even amphibious landings on beaches without port infrastructure. The project was jointly supported by the U.S. Office of Naval Research, intended to study how hybrid vessels might serve military or Arctic roles. But fate had other plans. After completion, the Susitna was handed to Alaska's Matanuska-Susitna Borough, meant to be a ferry across Nick Arm, near Anchorage. However, the project ran into financial and operational problems. The vessel, despite her futuristic design, was barely used and remained docked for years. By 2016, it became clear that she would need a new home and a new mission. That new mission came from the Philippine Red Cross, PRC, under the leadership of Senator Richard "Dick" Gordon. In December 2016, the ship arrived in the Philippines, renamed MV Amazing Grace, and by 2017, she was commissioned for humanitarian operations under the Red Cross flag. Amazing Grace proved her worth, responding to natural disasters, delivering aid to isolated islands, and serving as a mobile hospital and logistics vessel. One of her notable missions was after Typhoon Raleigh, Goni, in Catanduanes, where she helped deliver relief goods and transport critical supplies in areas devastated by the storm. After nearly 8 years of humanitarian service, the Philippine Red Cross decided to transfer the vessel to the Philippine Coast Guard, ensuring her continued use in national disaster response operations. The donation was formally announced on January 30th, 2025, and the turnover ceremony took place in March 2025. Upon her transfer, the ship was christened BRP Amelia Gordon PCG 5501, in honor of Amelia Gordon, 1919 to 2009. An extraordinary humanitarian. Former mayor and assemblywoman of Olongapo, and the mother of Senator Dick Gordon. Amelia Gordon dedicated her life to caring for abandoned children and leading relief operations during post-war reconstruction and natural calamities. The name therefore carries deep symbolic meaning, a legacy of compassion, resilience, and service. The PCG officially classified her as a Humanitarian Assistance and Disaster Response (HADR) ship, or hospital ship, making her one of the few of her kind in the entire region. Technically, the BRP Amelia Gordon is around 59 to 60 meters long, with a displacement of about 940 tons. She is powered by 4 MTU-12V 4000 diesel engines, giving her a top speed of around 20 knots, more than enough for rapid deployment to disaster-stricken regions. Originally designed to carry up to 129 passengers and 20 vehicles, she retains her roll-on/roll-off capability, allowing the transport of ambulances, relief trucks, and heavy equipment directly onto shore. The SWATH-to-barge transformation system remains one of her defining features, allowing the vessel to operate in rough seas or shallow waters, where ordinary ships would struggle. This flexibility is ideal for the Philippine archipelago, especially in disaster-prone and geographically isolated areas where quick access and medical evacuation are vital. For the Philippine Coast Guard, the BRP Amelia Gordon represents more than just a new asset. She symbolizes the service's expanding role in humanitarian response and maritime nation-building. The Coast Guard's modernization program has long emphasized search and rescue, maritime safety, and environmental protection. But as the Philippines continues to face stronger typhoons, earthquakes, and humanitarian crises, the PCG's ability to deploy floating medical and logistics platforms becomes a strategic necessity. Her arrival complements the PCG's larger offshore patrol and multi-role response vessels, providing a dedicated platform for medical support, command and control during emergencies, and transport of relief assets. Moreover, because she originated from a U.S. research program, the vessel also symbolizes a deeper technological link between American innovation and Filipino resilience, a bridge between two maritime nations, united by humanitarian purpose. From the freezing waters of Alaska to the storm-swept islands of the Philippines, this ship's journey mirrors the story of transformation itself. Once an unused experimental prototype, then a beacon of hope for the Red Cross, and now a proud humanitarian vessel of the Philippine Coast Guard. The BRP Amelia Gordon carries with her a legacy of both engineering brilliance and compassion. As the first of her kind in the PCG fleet, she will stand as a reminder that innovation and humanity can sail together, turning old experiments into new vessels of hope. This is Pinoy Guard, and this has been your deep dive into the story of BRP Amelia Gordon, the Philippine Coast Guard ship of compassion and resilience. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every ship has a story, and every story brings us closer to understanding our nation's strength at sea.